me tossing and turning inside my bed. Girl, I can't get you out of my head. Every night and day I hope and I pray there would be a reason for you to come my way. Pretty woman, pretty girl, stop a while, talk a while. Girl, you're oh so fine. Go to my head like red, red wine. Oh, girl, if I had you,
The things that we could do.
girl, if I had you,
All the things that we could do.
if loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, girl. Oh, shake. Oh, come on. Oh, girl, if I had you,
The things that we could do.
girl, if I had you.
All the things that we could do.
If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, girl, if I had you,
The things that we could do.
girl, if I had you.
All the things that we could do.
If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. I'll be doing wrong the rest of my life. Oh, girl,
I'll be doing wrong.
yeah.
The rest of my life.
Oh, girl.
I'll be doing wrong. The rest of my life.
Girl, if I had you,
The rest of my life.
girl, if I had you,
The rest of my life.
oh, girl,
Girl, if I had you.
oh, girl,
Girl, if I had you.
you got me tossing and turning. My heart is burning. Give me some kind of sign.
Higher level, how you feeling tonight? Y'all good, guys? Yeah. Good night, everybody. Welcome to our virtual party tonight. You will listen to the sounds of the Higher Level Band, and we're so happy to be here with you. What I need you to do for me right now, get up off the couch, get out your bed, yuck that sheet off, put on your scarlet shoes, and let's go. Come on, y'all. In the bush, let's go. Back in the old days, them people that bad ways. Back in the old days, them people that bad ways. Hey, mama left you home to clean that yard, but to you that's bad. Daddy left home this morning.
Tonight, hospital officials responding to a recent ruling. We've got the latest on this. This as a BPL employee dies following an industrial incident. And later, another dog attack, this time on an American visitor. We've got the latest on this. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Nawal. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, government says it will not appeal a Supreme Court ruling that found the Princess Margaret Hospital negligent in the death of a newborn baby, a decision that brings the years-long legal battle to a conclusion. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details in this report tonight.
Government is standing down, accepting a negligence ruling from the Supreme Court nearly 4 years after newborn baby girl Elizabeth Lundy died 2 hours following an emergency cesarean section due to monitoring gaps at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
There's no need to go back to, one, frustrate the court, and two, to relive this matter with family members.
The ruling came 2 months after a 3-day trial where medical evidence and testimonies were presented deciding whether baby Elizabeth's death was from oxygen deprivation or an undetected heart condition. Acting Justice Reynard Rigby KC ruled in favor of the dead child's mother after PMH staffers failed to monitor the baby and her mother for 27 critical minutes before the C-section, which Rigby says, based on evidence, the baby died due to perinatal asphyxia. Not minimizing the gravity of fatal medical incidents, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville acknowledged that such cases do occur. However, he emphasized that medical professionals closely examine each incident, using the findings to improve clinical practices and help prevent similar tragedies.
There is always malpractice issues at every hospital in every country, and the PHA is now addressing the issue prior to the finalization of the case to improve the delivery of services, not only in the antenatal area, but also through the entire hospitals.
Court evidence ruled that an attempt at a failure natural birth led doctors to order the emergency C-section. However, here's where the courts deemed PMH as negligent. Before the surgery, a drop in the fetus heart rate was recorded, indicating fetal distress as it was below the normal baseline rate, noting that should have indicated doctors to continue monitoring as necessary. But for some time after, no records of the baby's condition was recorded during that interval. Defense experts claims the lack of monitoring was due to the limited hospital resources. Court officials say that led to the death, given that the baby was healthy for up to 30 weeks. So, what will be done on the medical wards to lessen these fatal instances?
What this does is two things. It moves us in the direction to ensure that our policies, procedures are adhered to, and also, if they are not, to move up to the level of standard, as well as to ensure that staff are educated.
Now, Rigby ordered the parties to come to an agreement on compensation. However, he did express displeasure, noting that the amended claim sought $10,950 in special damages, including medical fees, medication, and funeral expenses, which from his view was not exorbitant. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, questions remain tonight after a 10-year-old boy, Keon DeVoe, was found safe, ending an anxious search that gripped his family since Tuesday. Eyewitness News was at the family's Cordo Avenue home, and Keon's grandmother received the news. She lowered her head, throwing her hands up, and audibly thanked God in relief for him being found. Now, as the search unfolded, surveillance footage emerged showing Keon, who sells fruit, getting into a red Honda Fit after speaking with a man relatives identify as a friend of the family. With Keon now home safely, the focus of the investigation has shifted. The question is no longer where he was, but why he was not returned to his family sooner. It's a developing story we will continue to follow as more details emerge tonight. Meantime, a family's desperate search ended in tragedy today after a man discovered the partially decomposed body of his 51-year-old brother in bushes in the Knowles community in Cat Island. Police say their preliminary investigations indicate that the man died as a result of a traffic accident. Officers finding that victim with a severed left arm and injuries to his face and right side. Authorities say the man had not been seen since Monday afternoon, this after leaving a function on a motorbike. The matter is now being investigated as a traffic fatality. Well, a 57-year-old man is dead after the car he was driving plunged into the sea in San Salvador. Police say the man was traveling south on Queens Highway shortly before Tuesday evening when he reportedly lost control of his white Nissan Note, which left the road and overturned in the waters at Hall's Landing. Passing motorists, they reportedly rushed to the scene, pulled that driver from the vehicle, and performed CPR before he was taken to a local clinic. Despite further resuscitation efforts by medical personnel, he was pronounced dead shortly after 8 p.m. A post-mortem exam has been ordered to determine the exact cause of death. Meantime, traffic officers from New Providence, they're expected to assist with the investigation. Well, Bahamas Power and Light, they're mourning the loss of one of its utility workers today following a fatal electrical incident in Grand Key, Abaco. The victim being identified as 35-year-old Lawrence Cooper of Abaco. While BPL has not disclosed the specific circumstances surrounding that incident, the company says a full investigation is now underway. His death has also renewed concerns about safety in one of the country's most hazardous professions. Utility crews routinely work around high-voltage electrical systems where even a single misstep can have some deadly consequences. The tragedy following a number of serious industrial accidents reported across the country this year alone, many of them fatal. It also brings back memories of previous electrical incidents involving power company employees, including a BPL worker who suffered severe electrical burns in Abaco last year during a maintenance operation. In a statement, BPL says it's saddened by Cooper's death and extended its condolences to his family, friends, and colleagues. The company maintains that the safety of its employees remains its highest priority and says it's providing support to those affected as investigations continue. Well, today we put that question to you. How confident are you that workers in the Bahamas are adequately protected on the job? 5% of participants voted very confident. Workplace safety standards are strong. 8% voted somewhat, but improvements are needed. 51% voted not very confident. More safety measures are necessary, while some 36% voted not confident at all. Worker safety needs major improvement. PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell calling out the Free National Movement's chair, Dr. Dwayne Sands, who continues to be very critical of the recent rolling blackouts that have been plaguing residents under government's watch. The power outages have spread beyond New Providence, leaving communities in the Family Islands feeling the impact as well. Now, Mitchell has seemingly owned up to the issue on behalf of his government colleagues, while arguing that they've inherited a power issue that he says wasn't made any better under the Minnis administration.
I see where Dwayne Sands, chairman of the FNM, is complaining about the failure of the power grid over the past week. This isn't the same man, though, who served in the government that did nothing to fix the grid, and now that it's in a state of collapse because his government did nothing about it, he's concerned about the discomfort. Well, we're all concerned about the discomfort, and believe me, our best brains and muscle are working to resolve this problem sooner rather than later. But sorry, Dwayne Sands is in no position to comment because he does not come to equity with clean hands.
Well, from the crime beat tonight, a 39-year-old woman reportedly had to fight off an alleged sexual assault at a home in West End in Grand Bahama. Police say the woman told officers she was visiting a friend on Tuesday night when the boyfriend of that friend allegedly attempted to engage in non-consensual sexual activity. Authorities say the woman was able to defend herself, causing the suspect to flee the scene. Police say the circumstances surrounding that incident remain under active investigation. Well, just days after growing concern were raised over a string of dog attacks across the country, another brutal attack now under investigation. This time, a 9-year-old American boy is fighting for his life after police say he was bitten by dogs in Bimini. Authorities say the child was reportedly collecting sand on the beach near a business establishment on Tuesday morning when he was mauled. He suffered multiple bite wounds to his face, head, arms, and legs. Police say an unidentified man rushed to the boy's aid, chasing those dogs away before leaving the scene. The child was initially treated at the Bimini Community Clinic before being airlifted to the United States by U.S. Coast Guard for further medical treatment. Police say they've identified the owner of those dogs, who's cooperating with investigators as they work to locate and secure the animals. The investigation remains ongoing tonight. Well, a 51-year-old man reportedly broke down in tears after a jury unanimously acquitted him of allegations that he sexually abused his live-in girlfriend's 11-year-old daughter. The man's identity has been withheld to protect the identity of the child. While prosecutors allege that the abuse occurred in August of 2024 at the one-bedroom home the accused shared with the child, her mother, and her siblings. However, the allegation did not surface until nearly 2 months later when the child claimed she had been abused after being questioned about a missing item in the home. Throughout the trial before Justice Janine Weish Gomez, the accused denied the allegation, maintaining the child fabricated that claim after he disciplined her. The complainant also testified that she had previously run away from home because she feared being punished for getting into trouble. Following deliberations, the jury returned a unanimous verdict of not guilty. Well, what began as a routine traffic stop ended in a bribery conviction after a 27-year-old driver admitted to offer police officers cash to avoid some traffic tickets. Terrence Wright was fined a total of $3,000 or faced some 6 months in prison after pleading guilty to bribery and multiple traffic offenses before senior magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. According to prosecutors, Wright was stopped in New Providence on July 25th while driving an uninsured vehicle without a valid driver's license. During the stop, he allegedly offered the officers a couple $100s to split. Instead of avoiding prosecution, Wright was arrested and later admitted to the bribery charge along with the related traffic offenses. Well, one of Nassau's most iconic waterfronts could be in line for a major transformation as plans for a new marina and commercial development at the Porter's Key Dock are sparking some mixed reaction. Rebecca Bain
For decades, Porter's Key Dock has been a hub for fishermen, vendors, boaters, and locals. Now a proposed marina and 50-space dry storage facility for jet skis and other small watercraft could soon change the face of that site. The development proposed by Blue Key Limited would also include an office building, a cafe, and on-site parking on the southwestern side of Porter's Key Dock. But for many vendors, the first they heard of the project was only recently.
To be honest with you, this is the first I'm hearing about it when you guys asked me about it.
It does get to me when they call and tell me that. I never even know that it was going to happen.
Gregory Bowles, part owner and manager of Archie's Restaurant, says he isn't opposed to development, but believes the public deserves more information before the project moves forward.
Would it impact the vendors of Porter's Key Dock negatively, or would it impact the vendors of Porter's Key Dock in a positive manner? Because right now, we really don't have much business out there.
The project environmental assessment prepared by JSS Consultants states the marina would be constructed in an area that has already been significantly altered by human activity. The report also confirms dredging will be required to create the marina basin. Despite those findings, Bowles remained concerned about what the project could mean for the surrounding marine environment.
We got a lot right now in the back of our soil, that's alone. It's like a garden for baby fish. We got baby groupers growing in the back there, baby snappers growing right in the back of our stall. We see them on a daily basis. We got manatees in the back that comes up under that soil to drink fresh water. If they're going to dredge, that they got to take all that into consideration too.
But not everyone shares those concerns. Just steps away, vendor Kenneth McKinsey believes the project could help modernize and beautify the Porter's Key area.
The people that keep on bringing these old boats and leaving them here and they sink, they don't ever come find whoever own them and let them come and take it. If they don't take them up, they take them and get them to the dump.
But Bahamas Marinas Association President Peter Maury believes the development could create a different problem. He argues adding a marina to an already busy waterway could increase congestion and says the project design and location should be reconsidered before any approvals are granted.
Why not do it to the east and they can build parking and the development out over the water, and then you could have a separate access that way. It doesn't look like it makes sense, to have everybody trying to get into the same area. Potter's Key's a mess on any given day. You can't find parking, they got all those stalls out there, so...
For now, opinions remain split. McKinsey, however, is choosing to focus on the potential economic boost.
I think we'll benefit of it because as long as boats come in from different countries and different places and they pull in that marina, they want to come and see what's going on over here anyway.
Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
On some other news tonight, health officials say they're moving quickly to prevent a repeat of the flooding that disrupted operations at the Princess Margaret Hospital Accident and Emergency Department over the weekend. Managing Director Dr. Albernette Roll says several flood mitigation options are now being evaluated after heavy rainfall overwhelmed that facility. Dr. Roll explaining that the hospital's location makes it susceptible to flooding during periods of intense rain, making long-term preventative protective measures a top priority.
that we have started mitigation strategies. I met with our project team as well as Veritas, who's helping us with this. And there are a couple of things that we're going to do. One of the biggest things we're moving now to get some costing is a roll-down door for that section. That helps us on 3 levels. One, to mitigate the water, the extent of water coming through, because remember now, we're at that peak where there is a what you call a little hill that comes down, so the water comes down to the trough, and in there we saw no blockage in our drainage system, but we may have to put some additional drains there. But we are moving to get a costing for a roll-down door as well, and so we will seek to have all of those approval by the incoming board.
Dr. Rose says the proposed upgrade would do more than protect the hospital from heavy rainfall. She believes the additional safeguard would also strengthen the facility's resilience during other emergency situations.
The door not only protects us from water entry, but in the event of, because we sit in the hurricane basin, we have the ability to close that down to avoid the impact because there's glass there. And thirdly, and more importantly, if we look back even at those tragic moments that we have, like the plane crash, etc., when we have those crises, sometimes we have the bombarding of individuals coming and breaching privacy of patients. That allows us now to keep the doors closed, and that will be controlled by the ambulance persons to be able to enter and close and provide privacy to persons utilizing those services.
Trade figures are providing a fresh look at what the Bahamas is buying, what it's selling, and how the country's trade balance is holding up. This amid some growing global economic uncertainty. Laurencia Smith has the details in this report.
Tonight, the Bahamas is buying more from the world while selling less back. New figures from the Bahamas National Statistical Institute shows the country's imported an estimated $1.3 billion worth of goods during the first 3 months of 2026, a 6.4% increase compared to the same period last year. The report comes days after the Trump administration accused the Bahamas of failing to do enough to prevent goods produced through forced labor from entering the country, placing the national trade practices under greater international scrutiny. At the same time, the country's exports are heading in the opposite direction. The Bahamas exported approximately $187 million worth of goods during the first quarter, a 2% decline from the same period last year. That comes as the United States has imposed a 12.5% tariff on Bahamian goods, a part of a broader trade policy targeting some 60 economies, a move that could place additional pressures on local exporters. The report also provides a closer look of what is driving the country's import bill. Machinery and transport equipment accounts for the largest share of imports at $319 million. Food and live animals followed at $223 million. Meanwhile, the imports of manufactured goods, mineral fuels, and chemicals combined for nearly $400 million, highlighting the country's contribution dependency on foreign products. The Foreign Trade Report is a part of the Bahamas National Statistical Institute quarterly series, using data collected by the Bahamas Customs Department before it is processed and analyzed and published. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. You can follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel, scan that QR code on your screen, or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. But if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, employment struggles persist for members of the disabled community. We've got that story coming up. And later, what's driving the recent uptick in deadly acts of violence? We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
This summer, paradise is calling, and it's closer than you think. Gather your crew and escape to Royal Beach Club Paradise Island. Come relax on Chill Beach, dive into Paradise Pool, or dance all day at Party Cove with unlimited food and drink. Whether it's a family day, a friend's getaway, or the perfect staycation, your best summer memories start right here. So book your summertime in paradise at Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com.
Shop early to get your uniforms and catch Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4 get 1 free sale. Pre-monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back to school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back to school special. Restrictions apply.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
This summer, paradise is calling, and it's closer than you think. Gather your crew and escape to Royal Beach Club Paradise Island. Come relax on Chill Beach, dive into Paradise Pool, or dance all day at Party Cove with unlimited food and drink. Whether it's a family day, a friend's getaway, or the perfect staycation, your best summer memories start right here. So book your summertime in paradise at Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com.
Shop early to get your uniforms and catch Janae's Uniform Center's buy 4 get 1 free sale. Pre-monogrammed and regular school shirts, dry fit and cotton polos, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, PE shorts, underclothes, tights, socks, neckties, belts, sleeping mats, hair accessories, and character work desk. Get 50% off backpacks, lunch bags, and raincoats. Buy 4 school shirts, get 1 free. Buy 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, get the third 50% off. Need embroidery and monogramming done? Visit Janae's Uniform Center early. Beat the back to school rush. Janae's Chesapeake Road back to school special. Restrictions apply.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Esso, $6.60. Shell coming in at $6.75. Rubis, $6.87. Those are your local prices at the pump. Well, tonight, efforts to create more opportunities for persons with disabilities, they continue to gain momentum as a job preparedness seminar was held. It's aimed to help participants build the skills and confidence needed to enter the workforce. Our Danielle Dean shows us how organizers hope the initiative will help turn inclusion into lasting employment.
When you talk about inclusion, you have to include the persons with the disability. How can you say what the person needs without speaking with them?
Fully blind 24-year-old Stefan Pitt, president of the Bahamas Alliance for the Blind and Visually Impaired, says the challenge isn't a lack of ability, but a lack of opportunity. Of the organization's 54 members, Pitt says only a handful are employed, with some working in the public service and others in the private sector.
The unemployment rate in the blind and visually impaired community It's deplorable. They deserve the right to earn a living fairly and independently. The average able-bodied person could barely sustain themselves. So someone without a job and with a disability is already at a disadvantage. So I hope this opens up a new door of opportunity for persons.
Hoping to help change that, the Ministry of Urban Renewal and Community Relations, in partnership with the National Training Agency, hosting a job fair preparation workshop Wednesday designed specifically for persons with disabilities. The session brought together individuals with a wide range of disabilities, including amputees, the deaf or hard of hearing, and others confined to wheelchairs. National Training Agency Executive Director Dr. Nicole Andrews says while the agency has provided job readiness training before, this program is specifically designed to address the unique needs of its participants.
We will ensure that they are equipped in a way that they can relate to, and so that they can also make that contribution that's essential in society.
Officials say the training is just the first step. A job fair dedicated is scheduled for August 6th, giving participants the opportunity to connect directly with potential employers. Minister of Urban Renewal and Community Relations Lisa Ramming says every Bahamian deserves the chance to contribute to the country's development.
Nobody who don't have a disability is not allowed to come to that fair. And so this is a very exciting time for us, because oftentimes we sometimes forget about persons the most vulnerable among us, and we see them as the most vulnerable. And persons like them, they can contribute significantly to this country.
The initiative follows this week's Autism Town Hall, where parents and advocates called for greater support, resources, and inclusion for persons with special needs, reinforcing the growing push to ensure people with disabilities are not left behind. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, the Public Hospitals Authority has purchased the former Red Roof Inn property from Doctors Hospital for some $20 million. Once operational, the Harborside facility will provide urgent outpatient services, step-down and extended patient care, as well as specialized treatments, including renal dialysis, therapy, rehabilitation, and wellness services. While Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Darville did not get a timeline for its opening, he says the facility will play a critical role in reducing the demand on PMH.
Once officially operational, this facility will bring vital healthcare solutions to our patients in a rapid, cost-effective manner. This new PHA healthcare facility, we can boast of 46 private bed spaces here at this urgent care facility and at the Harborside. We also have diagnostic services and labs, and Inline will be signing a contract very shortly to continue the renovation of this particular asset to meet our requirements. We're also providing dedicated specialized care units inclusive of emergency dialysis. This truly meaningful healthcare development will come in handy for the challenges we currently face at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
The sale also marking the end of a chapter for Doctors Hospital, which owned the property before reaching an agreement with government. President of Doctors Hospital, Dr. Charles Digges, says he's confident the building will continue to serve the Bahamian people under the Public Hospitals Authority. He added that the negotiations were conducted in good faith.
This transfer today then speaks loudly as well to the fact that this is an ongoing participation, an ongoing partnership between the Doctors Hospital Health System and the government of the Bahamas, represented by the Ministry of Health and the PHA. That this is only a beginning will be represented in the many initiatives to come, that we have more bold initiatives on the horizon. You can pretty much predict now that the PHA has removed this significant asset from us, I must say painfully. The pain was muted, of course, by their payment for it. But there are many more opportunities and initiatives in the future.
Crime reform and drug rehabilitation advocate Dr. Eric Fox says he strongly believes that the recent uptick in violent killings is attached to drug trafficking. Within the past 2 weeks alone, there have been 6 murders in the capital and multiple drug busts involving millions of dollars worth of marijuana and cocaine. While there has been no specific correlation made between Fox's claims and these busts made by police, it begs consideration on whether there is a connection.
When we see this kind of stuff going on, we need to understand there's a bigger picture, some other things as well. Normally drugs. Normally it's drugs. People are involved in trafficking drugs and drugs get take, people get ripped and fellas they take that seriously. They don't play, you see? And then when that would have happened, you understand people get families. And when people get families, they figure out who do what, and then they move it on these people. So, it's sad. We need to try to find a way. So here I say we, right? I ain't putting nothing off on the government, the police. Commissioner Police Shannon knows, and the police officers, they doing their job. They are, but they can't determine who go on to do nothing. All they can do is respond after the fact. So
Fox says in his line of work, he's noticed that hydroponic marijuana, it's increasing in popularity and even adversely impacting the mental state of many of its young users.
It's very effective, it's very potent, it's giving a lot of young men psychosis, and it's very expensive, and that's the market. That's the market. These gang fellas, they ain't doing this for nothing. Behind the scene is money being made. And the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil.
It's been just over a month since residents of Guadalupe Street and Golden Gates voiced their frustration over a fish market waste dump that left the area reeking. Officials say they're moving ahead with plans to address those concerns through the redevelopment of the Blue Hill Road Farmers Market, a project aimed at modernizing the facility, improving garbage disposal, and eliminating the long-standing odor affecting nearby residents. Golden Gates MP Pia Glover Roll providing an update on that project. She says properties believed to be occupying land designated for that redevelopment will have to be removed. Roll also sharing the government is still working with those affected to identify an alternate location.
Well, the progress is going well with the renovation of the market. We are in phase 4 of phase 3 of the project, which is the completion of the restroom facilities. First time there's been restrooms installed out there, and the fish stalls. Then we'll be moving into landscaping and demolition for the restaurants. Now, in terms of the land for the preschool, I've met with the Office of the Prime Minister, who is now looking to identify adequate crown land for the school. I should have an update sometime this week on that, but that is what we are working on at this time, and then we will have a meeting with the operator of the school once we've been successful in identifying something for them.
Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, it's one of my favorite events, Fox Hill Day. It's festival, it's coming up. We've got the details, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Every great future begins with a strong foundation. For the last 10 years, you've helped us build one rooted in connection, trust, and community. Now it's our turn to build something for you.
10 years ago, we've laid the foundation for something bigger. Today, we're still connecting, still transforming, and we're built for more decades of innovation.
And because you've been a part of this journey, we're celebrating the people that has helped us build it every step of the way.
Alive turns 10 and we're celebrating. Customers have a chance to win cash prizes, travel experiences, plus one lucky winner will drive away in a brand new car.
Complete the following transactions, follow us on social media, and celebrate Alive turning 10 with us.
After all, it's good to be alive.
1, 2, 3, what you gonna choose? Strawberry swirl, caramel too. Cookie dough bite, brownie swirl dream. Oreo crunch, make the whole team scream. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Swirl it, twist it, taste that wave. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Cinnamon toast on a cool vanilla. Chocolate base and the flavor gets bigger. Sweet on sweet, yeah, that's the fun. Better get one, better run, run, run. Gotta be frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
This is the ride on the weekend with my grandma to this place, Burger King Nassau, where grandma enjoyed her favorite flame grilled Whopper with fresh veggies, flame grilled beef just the way she likes it. And then I enjoyed my cheeseburger kids meal with a special treat.
And now, all grown up, I get to enjoy Burger King with these people, my friends, enjoying the same classic flame grilled Whopper. Let's just say, we know flame grilled tastes better.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
While preparations are in full swing for the 2026 Fox Hill Festival, as organizers and residents put the final touches on one of the country's most cherished emancipation celebrations. The 10-day festival is scheduled for August 2nd through the 11th in the historic community of Fox Hill. It will feature a full calendar of cultural, religious, and family-friendly events. Festival Chair Warren Davis says this year's celebration will include a Junkanoo rush out, an ecumenical service, a community luncheon, and also a family fun day, all building toward the highly anticipated Fox Hill Day celebration on August 11th, featuring some live entertainment, cultural performances, and authentic Bahamian cuisine.
And tools are eager. Planning are still on the way. A Falcon Band will be playing on that night. The Greasy Pole is always a showstopper. We have the Maypole and to the traditional stuff. This year we're really trying to reach into the young persons. Alive has partnered with us, and also youth and sports and agriculture. So we are trying to really get into the hearts and the minds of the people of Fox Hill to look at agriculture and see how best we all could, think about the future and how we could sustain ourselves with food.
Meanwhile, police say they're ready to help ensure a safe and enjoyable celebration. Second in charge of the Fox Hill Police Station is Assistant Superintendent Farquharson. He's encouraging the public to come out, enjoy the festivities, and celebrate responsibly. He says officers will maintain a strong security presence throughout the event.
Yeah, I can assure members of the public that the police will be out in full force. We will have adequate security at the site throughout the event. So we encourage people to come out. It'll be a safe environment for all. We will take a zero tolerance to all crime and criminality. So any persons to be found committing any offences, they'll be taken into custody.
140 students from Seabreeze got the chance to tour Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas today, along with Member of Parliament Leslie Miller Bryce, as a part of the Seabreeze Summer Camp. As a part of their tour, the students got the opportunity to play and dine on board the multi-million-dollar ship, which concluded with a light show and farewell from the crew. Miller Bryce sharing details about this opportunity.
They had so many questions. They were engaged, they were enthused, they were excited. They had a lot to eat while they were on the cruise as well. And thank you so much to the team members from Royal Caribbean that had us engaged, told us about their job, told us about the job opportunities that are available on board. So many of my campers are now interested in becoming involved in maritime and interested in the jobs that are available in this particular industry. And so once again, I just truly want to say thank you to Royal Caribbean for having our campers on board your cruise ship.
Well, the Bahamas is known for sun, sand, and sea, and sports as well. And this week, a local project management company is helped bringing an international sporting event to the nation's shores. Action Project Manager, led by Valencia Oliver, played a role in bringing the 5th annual Eddie George Celebrity Golf Classic to the Bahamas, along with potential sports management, marking the first time the event was hosted outside of the U.S. The tournament was held at the Royal Blue Golf Course, bringing together celebrities, golfers, and sports enthusiasts. Oliver says events like this one highlight the importance of building the country's sports brand and expanding the country's presence as a destination for sports tourism.
We promote sports all the time. We promote the Bahamas all the time. Why not merge the two? And that was extremely important for me because the Bahamas is a tourist destination, but why not make it a sports tourism destination? So it was extremely important for our company to note that aspect of this tournament and to let them see more than just sports. We want them to see our beautiful waters. We want them to see our culture. This is the first time that they've actually done it for a multi-day. They've always had the tournament for pretty much one day and they, head out back home. That's what they usually did. But this time we really wanted to promote sports tourism and bring the actual tournament here to the Bahamas. And we've this time partnered with Bahamas, as well as they're having it here at the beautiful Royal Blue Golf Course. And our company was just instrumental in doing the logistics, the event management, the planning, the project management behind the actual event from start to finish. It's not just the golf tournament, it's actually events that are happening in the evenings. We have a few notable celebrities that are here: Eddie George, Ed Too Tall Jones, Jerome Bettis.
Sounds like a great event. Well, so to come in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has a check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janae. Well, I have the latest news in sports from the baseball diamond and the hardwood. I'll tell you more about it straight ahead in sports.
We are celebrating the International Day for the Conservation of Mangrove Ecosystems.
The mangroves found at Bonefish Pond National Park protect the coastline from hurricanes and winter swells. So generally you find anything that's behind the mangrove forest tends to be safe from wind damage.
When we tamper with or destroy these vital ecosystems for short-term gain, we end up permanently weakening our island's resilience against storm surges and hurricanes.
Healthy mangroves mean healthy water.
Mangroves improve water quality, they protect our ecosystems and sustain our communities.
Mangroves play an absolutely critical role in the life cycle of bonefish. We have planted over 150,000 mangroves directly into the communities of East Grand Bahama and Abaco.
About 80% of our coral reef fish start out their life in the mangroves.
The Forestry Unit in the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources is entrusted to protect the mangrove ecosystems that are essential for safeguarding our coastlines.
We're working to protect and conserve the mangroves. You should too.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off in sports tonight, we're on the baseball diamond. Team Orange closed out the Bahamas Baseball Association second annual All-Star Weekend with a 4-3 victory over Team Blue to capture the 8U championship over at the Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium. Team Orange also claimed the 12U title while the Team Blue took home the 10U championship. The annual showcase continued to spotlight the country's top young baseball talent while reinforcing the association's commitment to developing the sport from the grassroots level, according to the association's president, Clarence C.J. Johnson.
At the end of it, we really seek to further put the Bahamas on the map by competing one day in a World Baseball Classic as well as the Olympics. And we do believe that is very achievable in the next 5 to 10 years with what we have going on and the talent that's coming up behind. So preparation for those type of events, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a couple of years. You actually need a 5 to 10 year plan to put your country in a position, and that's what we're doing now.
Congratulations to our future baseball stars. Onto the basketball court. The Bahamas Basketball Federation's Summer of Thunder tipped off yesterday with its annual week-long preseason showcase that runs through August 2nd. The event features some of the top NCAA Division I men's basketball programs matching up against Bahamian and international teams, giving local fans a chance to see collegiate basketball rising stars while showcasing homegrown talent. In the opening day action, the University of Louisville rolled past Raw Talent Elite 101-54. Fresno State also opened the tournament with a dominant 110-69 win over the Giants. The action continues tonight with Fresno State returning to the court over at the Kendall J. Isaac Gymnasium as they take on the Caribbean Moonshine Rockets as the Summer Thunder tournament continues. Well, that's a quick look at sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news at this hour, but coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, a look at all of today's top stories. That's coming up in Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us Here at Eyewitness News, it's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Coming up tonight, can Bahamians still trust the public health care system? That's the question tonight after a landmark malpractice ruling against PMH. One question emerging, does every doctor in the public system carry malpractice insurance? And later tonight, a look at an incident that happened at C.H. Reeves Junior High School where a teenage boy says he was bullied by a group of boys. That story still has many of you voicing off tonight. We take a look. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, tonight the government says it will not appeal a Supreme Court ruling that found Princess Margaret Hospital neglectful in the death of a newborn baby, a decision that brings the years-long battle and legal battle to a conclusion. Linton Ritchie Jr. has been following this story today and has the report.
Government is standing down, accepting a negligence ruling from the Supreme Court nearly 4 years after newborn baby girl Elizabeth Lundy died 2 hours following an emergency cesarean section due to monitoring gaps at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
There's no need to go back to, one, frustrate the court, and two, to relive this matter with family members.
The ruling came 2 months after a 3-day trial where medical evidence and testimonies were presented deciding whether baby Elizabeth's death was from oxygen deprivation or an undetected heart condition. Acting Justice Reynard Rigby KC ruled in favor of the dead child's mother after PMH staffers failed to monitor the baby and her mother for 27 critical minutes before the C-section, which Rigby says, based on evidence, the baby died due to perinatal asphyxia. Not minimizing the gravity of fatal medical incidents, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville acknowledged that such cases do occur. However, he emphasized that medical professionals closely examine each incident, using the findings to improve clinical practices and help prevent similar tragedies.
There is always malpractice issues at every hospital in every country, and the PHA is now addressing the issue prior to the finalization of the case to improve the delivery of services, not only in the antenatal area, but also through the entire hospitals.
Court evidence ruled that an attempt at a failure natural birth led doctors to order the emergency C-section. However, here's where the courts deemed PMH as negligent. Before the surgery, a drop in the fetus heart rate was recorded, indicating fetal distress as it was below the normal baseline rate, noting that should have indicated doctors to continue monitoring as necessary. But for some time after, no records of the baby's condition was recorded during that interval. Defense experts claims the lack of monitoring was due to the limited hospital resources. Court officials say that led to the death, given that the baby was healthy for up to 30 weeks. So, what will be done on the medical wards to lessen these fatal instances?
What this does is two things. It moves us in the direction to ensure that our policies, procedures are adhered to, and also, if they are not, to move up to the level of standard, as well as to ensure that staff are educated.
Now, Rigby ordered the parties to come to an agreement on compensation. However, he did express displeasure, noting that the amended claims sought $10,950 in special damages, including medical fees, medication, and funeral expenses, which from his view was not exorbitant. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, joining me this evening to discuss the public health care system and the level of care at the state-run facility is former Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands. Dr. Sands, thank you very much for being here this evening, and good evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, and thank you for having me this evening.
Dr. Sands, this ruling has shaken public confidence, not for the first time. Why should Bahamians still trust the public health care system?
Well, this is a very complex topic. And certainly I think we should start from the premise that there are many, many, many reasons to trust the public health system because it does incredible work to provide care for many, many people. Many of the people that work in the public health system, from physicians, nurses, ancillary medical professionals, and others, do a yeoman's work in less than reasonable circumstances. And yet, there are huge challenges with the public health system. And I think we should start with the premise that things are not as good as they should be and need to be significantly better.
Well, how is service impacted by, as you say, because things are not as good as they should be in the public system?
I think, first of all, let's start with the point of view that the model that we use should be abandoned. The concept of public and private medicine existing in the same facility is past its use-by date. And we have seen, and the SANIJES report, which was the basis of national health insurance, demonstrated that the quality of care that public patients get in the same hospital and oftentimes within feet of private patients was decidedly inferior. Mortality rates for the same diagnosis worse in public patients than in private patients.
The same.
And so, what used to work back in the 1960s and 1970s and 1980s maybe, it don't work no more. But yet we hold on to this concept of public medicine. And we pretend that it still works, that the model of having a consultant and registrars and senior house officers and so on and so forth, with some patients as public patients and other people on the private ward, and that somehow separate is the same as equal. That model is broken and we need to get rid of it.
How broken is that model? Because you just brought something back to mind, the fact that there is a private section of the public sector, and then of course there's that whole public sector of the healthcare system at PMH that operates. We've been hearing so much about it. How wide is the difference between the care they get?
Let me give you a for instance. Suppose you have a young woman who is pregnant, first time, and she is a complicated pregnancy, and she comes in on the public ward. There's a possibility that that young woman would be attended to by a member of the house staff, a registrar, a senior registrar, to do her delivery. And the baby's going to be attended by house officers. Down the hall, there's probably another woman giving birth, and she has had several babies without difficulties before, but a consultant obstetrician will deliver her, and a consultant neonatologist will manage her baby. I put it to you that what ought to happen is that the sickest people should get the highest level staff. And so when we look at the model where persons are engaged as supervisors, then their interaction with patients ought to be predicated not on whether they're public or private, but on whether they are acutely ill or not. That's one thing. The second thing is that the public hospitals are chronically underfunded every year by the tens of millions of dollars. So equipment's broken, operating rooms not functioning, supplies not there, medication not there, and the public response from administration and from the political directorate, and this is political with a big P, and I'm not talking about a particular administration, although I could. We'll say, well, this is the best that we could do. See what you could do.
I mean, that sounds just so flippant when it comes to people's lives.
Well, if you say that the budget for providing health care is, say, $300 million, but it really ought to cost $400 million. And there's a political view that health care should be free. As a matter of fact, there's a political view that even if you have insurance, that we are not going to charge you the same rates, even when you're insured, when you come to Princess Margaret Hospital, as we charge you when you're at another private facility, thereby limiting the hospital's ability to capture revenue.
How was that approach to public health hurt the public healthcare system, and has it limping along right now as it is?
So if you require, and I'm making these numbers up for illustration, although I could be a little bit more precise having seen the numbers, if you need an extra 50 million, 75 million in order to get additional equipment, supplies, pay staff, overtime, etc., the quality of care is going to improve. But if you say that, no, we're not collecting that additional revenue for multiple different reasons. We did a study of accident emergency at Princess Margaret Hospital when I was director. And we looked at over 60,000 patient visits, and there are gazetted fees. In 1 year, Princess Margaret Hospital's emergency room collected, hold it, less than $5 per patient. Okay? Now these were gunshot wounds, stab wounds, heart attacks, strokes, etc. It costs more to try and collect the money than the hospital was collecting.
My God.
So what's the point? But yet we hold on to this model.
What did you do, Dr. Sands, as Minister of Health, as director, and you are a senior, respected physician, even right now, your voice is loud and carries a lot of weight. What did you do to try and change this?
Many interventions, some of which did not see the light of day because the politics was problematic. That, you have a gazetted fee that you ought to pay, let's say $10 for a visit. Shanique Miller shows up and say, I ain't got it. Now, Shanique got a Gucci bag on her arm. She got an iPhone 20. And we know Shanique rich, right? But Shanique says she ain't paying.
Wow.
And so she calls up her whatever, and they said, no, see, let her come. But when she goes to get that x-ray or that CAT scan, the machine is broken because the hospital doesn't have the money to pay the bills. Multiple vendors not getting paid. The kitchen has been down for almost 2 years. They ain't got the money. They could lie and say they have it, but they ain't got the money to fix it. Otherwise, it would have done fix. Okay? This drug not available, that piece of equipment not available, etc. And we refuse to change the model.
Right. And political interference, obviously, over the years as well, helped take it where it is. Dr. Sands, if you had a family member who needed care, would you take them to PMH?
Yes. So, as you know, I have twins. And my wife's pregnancy was complex, and it was recommended that our twins be born at Princess Margaret Hospital. We had insurance. Matter of fact, at the time, we had 2 different major medical insurances. And so they were born at Princess Margaret Hospital, spent time in the neonatal intensive care unit, and they got incredible care there. There are a number of services that are provided at Princess Margaret Hospital and by extension the RAND, and the overwhelming majority of interventions provided are excellent. But we can do better. And I think in 2026 now, we ought to say, have a dispassionate look at what is wrong, what is right with our healthcare system, stop pointing fingers and just do it.
And just do it, like make the tough decision and get it done. Because obviously the majority of people would benefit.
These horror stories. Mary went in the hospital. She had this complication. And nobody came to see her, and so on and so forth. And then there's a bad outcome. It's not only money. Part of it has to do with the unwillingness to acknowledge that there are certain things that we cannot provide consistently in that setting using the approach that we use. So to give you a specific example, somebody comes in the hospital and needs a procedure. Let's say it's dialysis access. Some patients can spend 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks waiting on the ward to get in the operating room because the system cannot accommodate them. That's today. Okay? You have surgical patients waiting. You have medical patients waiting for scans, MRIs, CT scans, ultrasounds, etc. Because the capacity of our healthcare system is less than adequate.
But obviously, there's a need for significant overhaul. Obviously, I mean, we're talking about the lives of people, the quality of life of people. You mentioned house staff versus consultants. We, Joe Public, don't understand what that means. What is house staff that they seem to kind of pick up the load when it comes to meeting out healthcare? Who are they? How qualified are they?
Well, so in the hierarchy of medicine, a young person will go to medical school. It's a 5-year program, and they come back and they then have a practical year of training called an internship, where they're learning how to apply the skills that they learned in medical school under the supervision of somebody who has more experience than them and somebody who has more experience than them. And ultimately, every patient in the hospital ought to have direct supervision by a consultant. That's somebody who has not only gone to medical school, but completed a residency training program in a particular specialty. So for me, when I finished medical school, I then did 5 years of general surgery and 3 years of cardiac surgery. So I supervised the cardiac and thoracic service, or I did when I worked in the public health system. There's one other cardiac surgeon. There are a few other vascular surgeons on staff. Every person below them would provide care to patients with the supervision, either direct, visual, or telephone, or verbal discussion. And that is true in every specialty. Some people are more hands-on than others. I'm talking about consultants. Okay? So the house staff now, let's say that somebody is rotating on the cardiac surgical service. They will learn certain skills, they will provide certain services, do certain procedures under the supervision of the consultant.
Dr. Sands, stick a pin right there, Dr. Sands. We're going to take a first break for the evening. Dr. Dwayne Sands, former Minister of Health, noted surgeon, of course, and respected in his profession, will come back with us right after the break. This is Beyond the Headlines. Speaking of that malpractice suit that the PHA has said they will not contest any further. In fact, they will honor it, the court's ruling. We are going to speak more about the state of public health care in the Bahamas right after this break.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. Well, just look at those. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
My name is Charles Wesley Rowe. My organic farm is Nice Layers Organic Farm. I have 230 birds up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now, we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
We are celebrating the International Day for the Conservation of Mangrove Ecosystems.
The mangroves found at Bonefish Pond National Park protect the coastline from hurricanes and winter swells. So generally you find anything that's behind the mangrove forest tends to be safe from wind damage.
When we tamper with or destroy these vital ecosystems for short-term gain, we end up permanently weakening our island's resilience against storm surges and hurricanes.
Healthy mangroves mean healthy water.
Mangroves improve water quality, they protect our ecosystems and sustain our communities.
Mangroves play an absolutely critical role in the life cycle of bonefish. We have planted over 150,000 mangroves directly into the communities of East Grand Bahama and Abaco.
About 80% of our coral reef fish start out their life in the mangroves.
The Forestry Unit in the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources is entrusted to protect the mangrove ecosystems that are essential for safeguarding our coastlines.
We're working to protect and conserve the mangroves. You should too.
Here at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store, we believe in our prices. That's why we offer our price match guarantee. If you find any of our items being sold for a lower price than any of our competitors, whether that's online or in store, let us know about it and we'll beat the price right there on the spot. No one does it like CBS Bahamas. Learn more at cbsbahamas.com.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We are speaking about the court's ruling that PMH was responsible for the death of an infant. PHA has said today that they will not go and appeal the court's decision. They will honor that to spare the family and just to move forward. Joining me at the top of the show as well in this segment is former Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, who still is a practicing physician as well himself and knows the public healthcare system very, very well. And so he, if you tuned in during the last segment, you heard him say a number of things, quite frankly, about how the system can be turned around to truly serve and provide health care to the Bahamian people. It's going to take a lot of doing, but it needs to be done. Dr. Sands, thank you very much for continuing to stick around. Let's just kind of move forward. To what extent and we heard Dr. Darville talk about staffing, I think it was mentioned in Linton's story, but staff shortages, burnout and overcrowding contribute to preventable medical errors?
So, people have heard me say, and I'll say it again to your listening and viewing audience, that in my view, the most important member of the medical team is the registered nurse, because the registered nurse spends more time with the patient. And in the country, we do not give registered nurses their just reward. They are not compensated adequately, they're not treated adequately, etc. And so many of them are leaving the country in droves. They are also the surrogate for everything that is wrong with the system. And so the system fails, and so I can cuss out the nurse. Matter of fact, I can tell her about her stink, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Oftentimes, these nurses are working double shifts. Some of them, as graduate nurses, not being paid at all. And they're subject to abuse, they're subject to ridicule, etc., because they're the ones who the public interacts with. And so one of the things that we need to do is to redefine how we engage nurses across the country, because we're losing them. And trust me, the solution is not going to Jabim to get them. We ought to be finding ways to retain Bahamian nurses. The shortages of staff creates massive problems with patient care. Because if you have one registered nurse or two registered nurses, and a tired registered nurse, no matter how many nursing extenders you have, you are not going to give excellent care to patients, because all they may be able to do is to pass out medication. They're not going to have time to spend teaching and assessing and so on and so forth.
So how do you remedy this situation, Dr. Sands? Because I want to move it along to the competency of doctors. So the situation you were just describing, how do you go and say, listen, we're going to get a group of people, or a group of people entered University of Bahamas, UWI, some university anywhere, and say, listen, we want you to study to become a registered nurse. We bring you back home, and this is what, because we've got to kind of grow this system and the complement of, as you said, registered nurses.
The problem is we mistreat those registered nurses from the time they're students throughout. And then we get surprised when they leave the country, so that we had a deficiency right now in country of some 500 or 600 registered nurses. And it's going to get worse.
But I mean, let's be fair, Dr. Sands, because when you were Minister of Health, were you able to retain them? Because if the United States or elsewhere comes knocking on the door with beautiful packages, how do you compete with that?
Well, I'm pleased to say that as minister, we introduced a significant allowance for the first time for registered nurses that moved the pendulum somewhat. I don't think we did enough, but we did as much as we could do. And, you know, sometimes you just have to slow down the bleeding. There are many, many nurses who want to stay in country, you know, but if they can't pay their light bill, if they can't buy a little bubbler, if they can't put their babies or children in school, etc., and they're supposed to be called professional, what do you expect them to do? But we say you are a professional, but we can pay you as if you are not.
Yeah.
And that's not only the public sector, that's across nursing in the Bahamas, period.
In its entirety. Well, let's look at the training and competency of doctors, Dr. Sands. How rigorous is the process for ensuring that doctors working in the public system are clinically competent?
So, you know, all of the consultants are clinically competent.
I don't mean those ones, because you said those ones are.
Hold on, I'm gonna go down group by group. That doesn't mean that all of the consultants show up to work. And that doesn't mean that they engage particularly with public patients. Perry Gomez, my good friend, former Minister of Health, may he rest in peace, used to say, if you're poor and you're black, you can dead. And one of the reasons why he said that was because a number of consultants, they didn't know where Princess Margaret Hospital was. They were happy to accept the salary, but they'd show up for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, and roll out.
Wow.
And there are others who give their life to public health. Okay, they're there on weekends, they're there at night, they're there early in the morning, etc., dragging the system on their back in every specialty, every single one. But not everybody is like that. I tried to get rid of the worst performers. Okay? These are people who we had documented evidence did not show up to work, was drawing their full salary. And, you know, the board of the PHA say, no, you can't do that. Pay them.
There's that interference right there. There's that interference that had you done and been allowed then to do what it is you wanted to do, perhaps would have been making a difference today.
What it did was it set a bad example for the next layer. So when you have individuals at the level of senior registrar, they are people who have completed specialized training, but they do not have the privilege of private practice. Below them is registrar, and then you have a huge number of senior house officers. Let me speak to that cadre. Brilliant, bright, young physicians, all of whom had a dream to make a contribution to their country. But in order to practice in this country, you need to have completed a certain level of training in pediatrics, medicine, family practice, radiology, obstetrics, gynecology, surgery. You have to do a training program above and beyond internship and time spent in hospital. Many of these young doctors are trapped within the public health system because they cannot get access to a training program.
Wow.
And so, while they may acquire significant skills on the internal medicine service, on the surgical service, psychiatry, what have you, many of them will spend their entire career never being able to practice independently.
Wow.
And it generates a huge amount of frustration.
Mm-hmm. So then there's the frustration on that level, and then so many other things that you described for us this evening.
Right. We have, as a country, decided that we are going to fund young people to become doctors. And so a Bahamian student can go to the University of the West Indies and get a scholarship that covers 80+% of the economic cost of going to medical school. Lovely, wonderful. They come back, they're Dr. So-and-so. They can come back and get a job as an intern at Princess Margaret Hospital at Iran, and then they can get a stint as a senior house officer. And then there's a glass ceiling. And there's only a small percentage of them that will go on to do a residency training program, become board certified in a particular specialty, whatever that is, obstetrics, surgery, neurology, ear, nose, and throat, etc. And so we have no shortage of bodies, but most of those bodies are stuck in the PHA and not able to go out into the community to practice independently. And so instead of there being a throughput where you have young doctors, interns coming in, you spend 2 or 3 years in the public health system, and then you go out into the private sector having completed a residency training program. 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, these persons are still working as senior house officers. And now there's a block for new people coming in to the system. So every year, the Ministry of Health has to increase the budget because we got to accommodate 40 new interns, but we don't have the money to pay for them, and so on and so forth. And it is due to the fact that we didn't think this thing out very carefully.
Yes. So you are calling for an overhaul, and now we understand exactly.
We have, the model that we have used is broken.
Outdated. Before you go, very, very quickly, because I hear the indication for a break. You also want Bahamians to be on guard for something. You spoke to this about purchasing GLP-1 medications from your next door neighbor. Talk about that very briefly.
Any drug that you purchase from somebody who is not legitimate, you are doing so at your risk, and the consequences can be deadly. Deadly. And so you may think you're saving $1 or $2, but you could end up dead. And I'm not exaggerating. So if you're going to go and purchase GLP drugs, drugs for erectile dysfunction, drugs for acne, whatever, antibiotics, and hey, see, this is weak, yeah, take this. And somebody gives it to you and they don't know what they're doing, most times you'll get away with it. But sometimes something horrible could happen, and, dog eat your lunch.
Dr. Dwayne Sands, thank you very much for spending some time here on Beyond the Headlines with us to address real serious issues that really affect the nation as it relates to public health and public health care. Thank you very much for being here this evening. It's good to have you here explain to us and walk us through exactly how the healthcare system, the public healthcare system, has come to look the way it looks, and what it'll take to kind of begin fixing it. Thank you very much, Dr. Sands, for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all for your comments as well, and enjoying the two segments about the healthcare, public healthcare industry, and as it relates to Princess Margaret Hospital. When I come back right after this break, the Hot Topics panel joins me, and they speak to or respond to some of what Dr. Sands had to say. They also talk about those BPL bills that you all got today. Yeah, that's right. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back right after this.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods. handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Think you know a lot about money? Then prove it. What if one sound could win you big cash? Listen carefully. Then tell us exactly how much money went through the machine. One guess, one sound, one chance to win. Listen, guess, win. It's the sound of money. Brought to you by 103.5 The Beat. Powered by Island Lux Quick 5.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Good to have you all continuing to tune in this evening. I'm going to jump right in because Justin has already said, listen, this segment will run quick. So welcome to Beyond the Headlines, our contributors, Michael Turnquest and Ellington Ferguson. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Thank
Gentlemen, your response to that story that had so many people talking on different levels, people wondering, this is unprecedented. So this opened the door now for more scrutiny and obviously other people seeking some sort of recompense as a result of, something that didn't quite work out in the public health space.
You know, Shanique, I think this is almost like a victory for the people because, you hear about cases, you hear about things that happen like this, and, you never hear of anybody being, what they call it, reprimanded or being held accountable for wrongdoings, and I think it's about time, these things are actually being looked at and, being looked at with a microscope. But, I think this is kind of a victory for the Bahamian people because a lot of people have stories. We've heard horror stories about PMH in times, and we know that not everything that happened is bad in PMH, but, we have a lot of good nurses, a lot of good doctors, like Dr. San said, who put their blood, sweat, and tears, into the system. But at the same time, you have some who just did collect a salary and go home. And this is something that PMH or doctors, any one of them, we don't need in our healthcare.
Absolutely, Shanique. And yes, I'm happy for this family. And like both you and Michael have said, this is a victory for the people of the Bahamas. And I'm really hoping that as I listen to Dr. Dwayne Sands and his deliberation with you, I think it reminds me of what former Prime Minister Minister said as it relates to what we need to do with healthcare in the Bahamas. I think we need a coming together of all of the leadership, government, opposition, and professionals within the healthcare industry here in the Bahamas. And we need to brainstorm as to how we're going to move this forward. You heard all of the inefficiencies that Dr. Dwayne Sands talked about. I'm telling you, all of the times that I've heard Dr. Dwayne Sands speak on health matters, this is one of the times that he was more firm and not being political, but really I heard the honest truth from him. And so we need to pull these type of people together, make this thing work. Let's fix PMH. We're not going to do it one government in, next one in, they're doing something different. And you heard Dr. Dwayne Sands alluded to the fact that he attempted to do some things and it didn't see the light of day. No, we need to stop. There's too much bureaucracy, too much breakdown within the political management of these. I'm not talking with political parties. I'm talking with the politics within these ministries that hinder things and prevent things from happening, progressive things. And so, yes, we need a comprehensive coming together of all minds, all hearts to cause healthcare to move forward in this country.
And you know, Shanique, the one thing that Dr. Sands said, you know, that really makes you think, you know, when you have a board, whether it be a PHA board that really hinders the progress of, I would say, PMH, when you have things that are put forward and the board just taking it down because it's political favor, things of that sort. You know, maybe this is something we really need to take very serious in terms of when we talk about critical health care, removing any type of, I would say, interference like that in terms of appointed boards, and have a statutory board that those that sit for whatever the life of you know, are appointed by, not political, but by within the healthcare persons who are going to govern PHA in a way and a form and fashion that takes it in the direction that Bahamians need. Because right now, as you can tell, it's not happening.
You know, he says it needs a complete overhaul.
Yes. Complete.
And
No way around
you know,
it.
obviously chart a new course, because this is 2026. You can't
Absolutely.
be operating as you did when the hospital was first built, when, in the 50s sometime?
You know, maybe they need to look at, you know, Dr. Sands, Dr. Menace, and those who are, you know,
Absolutely.
and so, you know, reach across and say, hey, we want to make you, whether it be executive chairman or whatever it may be, to oversee and to help us to move this forward. I mean, something needs to happen. It needs to happen fast.
And I admonish Dr. Davila to do that. Reach out to persons like a Dr. Sands, reach out to Menace, and there are other professionals within the healthcare. Reach out to them. Come together, guys. Let's spend some time together. Let's brainstorm. Let's make this work. Let's fix healthcare in the Bahamas.
I agree, gentlemen. Let's quickly see how much we can get in. A concerning video featuring a mother raising some concerns and questions about student safety at a summer school program. We get the story from Laurencia Smith.
A video allegedly showing a 13-year-old boy being bullied during a junior high school summer program has spread rapidly across social media, sparking concern. In the video, the teen, wearing a dark shirt with red lettering, appeared to be pushed against the wall by another student, and several others watching recording the incident and encouraging the conflict. At one point, a voice can be heard making reference to a knife. The boy's mother, Janelle Bodie, says the incident has left her so disturbed that she decided not to send her son back to school when classes resume in the fall. Bodie claims that the incident occurred on July 23rd, involving her son and a group of boys. She also claimed that she believes the conflict stemmed from a group call, where one of the students allegedly made disrespectful comments about her son's late grandmother.
Tomorrow, no warning sign, no indication of, feel threatened by me tomorrow or be worried of some situation tomorrow, nothing of that sort.
Bodie says her son returned home from school with bruises and marks on his forehead and cheeks. She said initially he downplayed what actually happened, but after a neighbor shared the video with her, she realized the incident was far more serious than he let on.
I said, Junior, was this a serious situation? What happened today? Like, opened with me, be real. He's like, Mommy, I sort of scared now because I feel like the young men are really gonna attack me because now I go into the office and I didn't want the office to take it out of that proportion, but then now the video started to float around.
Bodie also alleged that she was never contacted by the school about the incident. She says she later went to meet with school officials to seek answers.
We didn't like what happened. We felt fear for his life. And it was okay to hear it. But to actually do something about it yesterday when it took place would have been a different, you understand, from today. So I was like, I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening right now.
Understand that the alleged incident unfolded just at the rear of me at this junior high school campus. Now, we made attempts to speak with school officials to get some clarity on exactly what happened, what was the next course of action. However, we were stopped by security officials at the campus gate who noted to us that no one from administration was available to provide comment. But we did speak with the founder of FOAM, Ms. Candy Gibson, who says, as a community, we have to address this issue of bullying before it becomes a bigger issue.
I am all out against bullying, whether it be cyberbullying or bullying face-to-face. Resolution to see seeing children going back to the same school with family and friends and community people, and guess what? This could escalate.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
You know, Michael and Ellington, it's quite unfortunate that unprovoked, even if it was, I mean, teenagers must learn how to resolve issues, but unprovoked, we saw the video there with them just deciding, you know what, let's fight today and let's gang up on this guy. That could have turned out so much worse than it did.
Shanique, you know, you have these type of cases, and I've heard of many cases over and over in the school system, you know, where you have young men who are doing these type of things, bullying. They end up either robbing gas stations and things of that sort, end up in boys' industrial school for things that they have done. But these guys, they think they have the minds of adults. I mean, when you have children who are supposed to be in high school, going into a grocery store or whatever type, and doing an armed robbery with a firearm, I mean, that's the type of the mentality that you have attending our schools in the Bahamas. I mean, we teachers need to start taking these things very seriously. When you see whether someone is being talked to in a certain way or fights and things of that sort, they need to really take a look at some of these kids and what they're doing and how they're doing it. How do they remove them from the school system?
Begin charging, you know, our judicial system. Listen, as you said, they are exhibiting adult behavior.
Yeah.
Treat them as such in the court system.
And become a hindrance.
Shanique, is unfortunate. My biggest thing when I saw that, it broke my heart, especially for that mother. And as she alluded to, this could have been something that turned out completely in a different way. One of the students mentioned, here's the knife, you can use the knife. This could have turned out a whole complete different way. The biggest problem for me is how the administrators of the school handle this. You see all of the things. You saw Candy got involved, and so her and not all of the parents. I'm disappointed in the rest of the parents that they didn't show up to deal with their children. But her and a few of the parents went to the police station and they discussed this and they brought some resolution to one or two of the boys and all of that type of stuff. Where is the rest of the parents? The school. We cannot take these things. The Bible tells you that foolishness lies in the heart of a child. When you see something brewing, you nip it in the butt, you deal with it immediately. Now, these boys were beating this boy in school, and they were at the gate after school waiting to get him. We react after there is blood, after the fact. This could have been a situation where them guys didn't know what was going to happen with the little foolishness that they was doing. And someone could have been dead today, then everybody would have been having something to say.
And then furthermore, you get the parents who come to the school arguing with whether be the principal and the teachers talking about their good child, and their child can't do this, that, the next. When their child all about the road doing foolishness,
Absolutely.
in the school doing foolishness, you all need to stop doing your foolishness. When you come to that school, you need to grab your child, discipline them, and carry them home. I don't think the school does it anymore. Because I know when I was in school, they had that paddle and they used to put that across you might know what, for doing any type of foolishness. And that's what we lacking in these schools.
Absolutely. Many teachers cannot discipline students. They've been prevented.
They may get shooting these days, shooting jack up from the parents and all kind of foolishness.
Just days after growing concerns were raised over a string of dog attacks across the country, another brutal attack is now under investigation. This time, a 9-year-old American boy is fighting for his life after police say he was bitten by dogs in Bimini. Authorities say the child was collecting sand on a beach near a business establishment on Tuesday morning when he was mauled, suffering multiple bite wounds to his face, head, arms, and legs. Police say an unidentified man rushed to the boy's aid, chasing the dogs away before leaving the scene. The child was initially treated at the Bimini Community Clinic before being airlifted to the United States by the U.S. Coast Guard for further medical treatment. Now, police say that they have identified the owner of the dogs, who is cooperating with investigators as they work to locate and secure the animals. The investigation into this matter continues. So the dogs those dogs have an owner.
In most cases, they do.
It is irresponsible to have your dogs roaming about the streets. We've talked about this so much recently.
Shanique, the government of the Bahamas needs to, wake up, listen up, whether whether they increase in terms of whether it be the fines or things, in terms of, you are responsible for your animal. Your animal should be locked up. If it's not trained properly to be socialized, to be out and amongst the public, it should be locked away because that is your animal. The government really needs to put larger fines, possibly imprisonment. I mean, we've had multiple dog attacks throughout Nassau, the Family Islands, everywhere where kids can be walking our streets or on the beach.
Kids,
I mean, how can
anybody, Michael, a dog should not be made to roam. I don't care how socialized this dog is.
We had a bigger outcry when that prison officer shot that dog that was dashing out at the dogs that they were walking. The outcry from this country was bigger than the cries of these persons that have been mauled in recent weeks. I mean, week after week, two older gentlemen, now a child, a visitor. I mean, what is it going to take for us to do what we should have been doing all along?
Or for people to do their
People
jobs.
needs to be prosecuted and held responsible for these animals that they have roaming the streets. These are dogs.
I agree.
They need to be held responsible.
You got to get serious, man. You got to get serious.
Fined and/or imprisonment. And
But we get people on the payroll who I'm pretty sure are employed on a daily basis to do the same thing. There's those seeking dogs that are not on collars, don't have collars, are just roaming the streets, and go ahead and start cleaning up our roads.
Bahamas Power and Light mourning the loss of one of its utility workers following a fatal electrical accident in Grand Key, Abaco. The victim has been identified as a 35-year-old man, a resident of Abaco, and BPL is not speaking about the specific details surrounding this incident, but our thoughts and prayers to that individual's family for sure.
Absolutely.
I know, guys, we're really at the end of tonight's show, but I know, Michael, you just before airtime, you were talking about the new electricity bills.
Shanique, I think everybody on social media tonight is talking about their electricity bills. I have, the PLPs, the F&Ms, everybody. It ain't political this time.
They're Bahamians.
They're Bahamians. Bahamians are in uproar about the bills. They're talking about the hedge fund. When it was hedge, it was 0.1. Now it's 0.24 or somewhere around there. I mean, it is ludicrous. And
what are the bills looking
like?
But
then you got to think about it. Majority of this month or last month, the electricity was off. So how is it?
I know, Shanique, a young lady told me this week, her bill was $200 last month. This month it's $800.
Man,
Facebook
right now, you go everybody.
You just can't.
Somebody 200 last month and 800
200 last month.
A lady
this month it's 800. And she paid it off in full last month.
But this one is 800. She got to go start dating again because she need the man to buy her food, this, that, the next, so she could just save her money for BPL. So you know
BPL sounds smart.
Yeah, I mean, I rather pay some of these women.
Everybody needs a minister of finance right now.
To pay their food bill.
What? Well, wait. Anyways, listen, I thank you, gentlemen, very much. Thank you so much. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, Dr. Dwayne Sands, former Minister of Health, speaking about the state of healthcare in the public sector. At the top of tonight's show, thank you very much, Dr. Sands, and to Michael Turnquest and Ellington Ferguson, thank you as well. And to everybody who participated, thank you so much for your comments and observations on that topic. Really appreciate your participation tonight. Look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.